So, pretty much first, I like to make sure my gun is clear and remove all the ammo. And kind of the next step, I like to take pre-cut up little pieces of paper towel and spray like some gun cleaner on that. And that kind of just helps remove like the carbon. As you see, like the light gets pretty caked with carbon. So I like to just kind of give that a quick wipe, kind of set that to the side so it's out of the way. And I like to just give everything a wipe down. And I kind of like to clean like the Hoppy's gun cleaner. It seems to get off everything pretty well. I mean, I sometimes use like a all-in-one for like the simple little stuff, but all in all, I like to clean it and then lube it, not really use a all-in-one. But I also give my recoil spring a little swippy wipey, you know what I mean? And then I like to take my grip module and FCU out and kind of clean those separately, just because if you haven't done that, I recommend doing that, because honestly, the fire control unit gets pretty gunked up. Um, Personally, I like to clean my firearm after every time I go shoot, but that's just something I've grown into. I don't always clean it this in depth, but I definitely like to give it at least a wipe down. So I think it's just a good idea to kind of clean your FCU out. I don't know, maybe every 500 rounds. Um, just because it gets gunked with carbon, and um, that's just the reason I do it. And it makes it feel a little smoother when you're shooting it. But I like to use these Q-tips. I personally buy them at Walmart, but they make gun-specific Q-tips. But I just choose to use these just because it's much cheaper, and I go through so many of them. It's kind of unreal. So after I clean the FCU, I like to clean the barrel and slide. And on this P320, I actually have a Parker Mountain Machine compensator and barrel installed. And with Parker Mountain Machine, it's not like Radian where it's got like a set screw that kind of holds that, and it's not a threaded barrel. Where this one is a threaded barrel, and it's kind of more permanent, so you kind of have to work around the compensator and barrel being in the gun. So that kind of is kind of a downfall for me, but um, the pros outweigh the cons, of course. So that's kind of why it stays on the gun. But I like to clean the barrel I kind of pull the barrel forward in the slide so I can clean it. And after I do that, I like to get like the rails and stuff that it kind of sits more on the gun or the module. I kind of like to get in there and just kind of clean up all that. Be cautious not to get any oil into like the striker and all that. It's just not really made for it. As you see, I do spray some gun cleaner on and then kind of wipe it, and that's just because it kind of evaporates. It's not really getting into the striker assembly and gunking anything up. But that's kind of how I do that. So, on to lubing. I like to use Lucas gun oil. Um, that has always seemed to work really good. I've never had any hiccups or anything using that, but I like to uh, kind of give the barrel a nice wipe down just because that sees a lot of the friction, and um, that's kind of what I've always learned. And I like to like the kind of where the bullet slides up into the barrel. I like to give that a little lube just so there's no hiccups there. It just one. And since the barrel is having to stay within the slide, I like to kind of rotate the barrel in the slide to get that. And I like to kind of just get the channels in there with a little bit of lube. That just kind of helps the function stay good and run smoothly, of course, as it should. But onto the module, I like to hit pretty much the four components that the slide kind of sits on, and that's kind of where I like to leave that at. Not too much lube there, or you're gonna be running out the sides, but not too little, or I mean, I guess you could run a dry gun, but why would you? I mean, we all like it wet, don't we? So, all in all, I mean, that's kind of how I clean it. You can kind of see what I'm doing there. So, any feedback you guys have, I'd love to hear. Any recommendations, anything you guys might want to see in the future. just let me know, and I'd love to make a video on how I do it. Thank you, and enjoy it.